right, well, I'm going to make it short and sweet. The stats, there's not a whole lot to really, brag about on the stat sheet other than that score. Our ability to, I thought the night was just really about kind of persevering, getting out of our own way, between turnovers and penalties, things that you like to get back as coaches at times. Our guys are just able to figure it out and find a way. The stat sheet's kind of grimy. That's what the stat sheet is, and it's really the DNA of, again, who we are. And we talked about, 5 weeks ago in our team meeting after the Ole Miss game, and, obviously it's not a very positive mood initially. The guys come in and it's really quiet, and we kind of a circle the wagon moment and just try to instill confidence in who we are. We lost a tough game that night against a really good football team. We had our opportunities, and the game teaches you a lot of hard, tough lessons. And and I'm not really one to put the cart before the horse, but put a big graphic on the screens that had an ESPN playoff simulator or whatever percentages if the Sooners go 4-0 in their last 4 regular season games, what the chances are, and it was like 92%. And I'm not really like that, like, oh, let's look up there, but I think our guys needed a kind of a shot in the arm and something the vision for what is in front of us if we just put our head down and go have a great Monday practice. We have good self-awareness about the areas and that we need to improve and clean up, and again, where we really felt like this team, if we did the things that we needed to do, both sides of the ball, kicking game included, what we could accomplish. And I know it was at the moment kind of unthinkable for a lot of people, but thankful that our players that day, they made a decision. And what a cool story that they have. The narrative wasn't always on their side, and they had to kind of fight through that, as well. But to be able to share in this moment with them, and I just have so much appreciation and respect for our players. Our staff takes them too. Staff's got to buy in and believe, in the opportunity too. Believe in themselves, believe in the opportunity, believe in each other, and then willing to, again, it still takes action. The words are just words, and the graphic is just a graphic. And this team is about action. And even in the game tonight, when it didn't look very good for the good guys, they were able to overcome a couple of interceptions to start the second half, and we just grinded away. A couple 3-and-outs. We hit a big play. What a cool moment. Isaiah Sategna was pretty special. He is somebody on the stat sheet that looks pretty dang good. 9 catches, 60-yard touchdown. The return, what a huge play that was. Grayson Miller, again, 7 punts and almost 50 yards a punt. I think he set a single-season record, 23 punts of 50-plus yards. Just a room full of a bunch of misfits, and they believe, and they're kind of grimy, and they like it. They like it. So we'll see what is in front of us right now. We're going to take a couple of days off, get a couple of lifts in. We'll have a couple of young guys practices, 12-period practices, and get our bodies and our minds and our spirits where they need to be. But, man, I'm super thankful to be their coach. And, man, they just got the right stuff, all the stuff that you can't put a price on. You can't put a measuring stick on. These guys got it. So that'll open it up for questions.
Talk about John's fourth quarter after the touchdown.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Threw for over 300 yards and ran the ball. A lot of it didn't look like a whole lot, but he took shot after shot, blow after blow, and he kept responding. And thankful that he's got the right kind of toughness and the resolve and the resiliency to believe there at the end. And he's done that in several of the games. You guys got all the stats and the storylines of several other games against really good people in the fourth quarter where he put a drive together. We made some plays, when we needed to, that were the difference in the game, and he did it again, here tonight. And we really took the whole game to compliment, one another, but we finally did.
Consider going to the bullpen there when he was struggling like that?
No. I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with anybody else, but no, I believe in John and what he's got. Absolutely.
When you get the lead, what are you thinking about when you get the lead open?
What?
How did Isaiah get that wide open?
I'm not sure. I don't know if they had a combo coverage and it was one of those, and I thought and he thought. I have no idea. Shake and bake, I guess. I don't know.
You get the lead, your defense comes out. Your defense has stoned them most of the day. They had the one drive, but you get the lead. What are you thinking? Tell us about that sequence with 4:12 to go in the game.
The last drive?
Yes.
I'm glad they burned a couple timeouts, all right? And if we can create some negative plays here within the drive and be smart about it, didn't have them in the same situation that we had them in maybe the previous drive when we didn't have the lead, and we were able to go 3 and out. So I'm like, this drive is dramatically different. And when we got them to, we were going to call a timeout there on 3rd and medium, see what they're in, and then they saved us from having to do that, and they used their own. And then he kind of scrambled for a couple yards there, and we got him down. I'm like, we got him. I'm saying this super humbly, but we worked really hard on what was going to go down on 4th and short, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 3, each one of those scenarios. And it's like, oh my gosh, we had the right personnel, right everything, and we didn't do the little things right when we played Ole Miss in the same situation. We were a little off. And they executed in the same situation to basically seal and win the game. And here we are again 5 weeks later, and we were just better. We pulled up those plays all week. This is what they're watching. 4th down, you gonna go win the game? I'd like to think that we're gonna blow somebody out. Nope. It's just not our luck, or not in the cards, or not in the league, and all that kind of stuff. Respectfully saying, to LSU, but we worked really hard on that scenario, that situation, to win the game. We were walking through last night. It was getting a little chitty chatter going on, just a little bit loose. And I'm standing back watching everybody, and I blow the whistle, and my whistle on me at the hotel, and challenge you guys. You guys want to win the game? There ain't another time. This is the one time to get the details down one last time to go win the freaking game on this side of the ball. This is the moment. All right, so get your eyes where they belong. And I know everybody's good, nobody trying to murder nobody or anything, but this is the moment to freaking lock in, have laser focus, and they did. Finished up in a great way, and then the moment came to fruition. And man, we had a lot of cool moments tonight. A lot of cool moments where we're just punching back in all 3 phases, and the defense was was relentless. Our D-line, Grayson Halton, man, y'all love how he plays. He juices everybody up, and just energizes the whole football team. And just the way the defense plays. Peyton Bowen was spectacular, to answer that with that interception right after the interception. What a play. I don't know how good the throw was or whatever, but, man, we made the play. Sometimes you got to get lucky. And had the PBU there. 6 tackles, just all over the place, man. These guys are a lot of fun to be around. I'm super, again, proud of them.
Do you ever talk to your offense the way you just described talking to your defense?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I'm trying to make sure I don't. I challenged the offense last night. That was really my presentation to the team. And, a good part of it was being who we're capable of being, who we've shown to be. We got to get out of our own way and do the things that we've done this year to win. And they've shared in every single win, making plays and making critical conversions and doing the things that we needed to do. And I just wanted to reaffirm them, how to block, how to strain, how to run, how to throw, how to catch. You're going to have to make those competitive plays, and we've done it. And maybe not as much as we want, but we have done it when we've had to. And so, but absolutely, we had a short yardage play there at midfield, and, we didn't do the things we were supposed to do within that play to give us the conversion. I thought if we had done, you had 2 options there, and I don't like having 2 options. I like having 1 option. And, because this game's too hard. Take it out of the players' hands and just one thing, let's get good at it. And anyway, that's neither here nor there, but absolutely, and that's that's a side of the ball that has had a few more injuries, and they've had a bunch of new guys, and the things that they've been able to do at the times they've been able to do it is really is great. And there's plenty of things that, man, we got to keep getting better. I hate saying it, feeling like it's a broken record, but it is. And in some ways, there's plenty of it that wasn't good enough, and could have lost the game because of the mistakes that we made in this game. But when you're good enough, you can. Again, I don't think it's an act of God. I think when you're good enough, you can find a way to overcome it, and we did.
Brent, do you feel like this team deserves a home playoff?
I don't even know what that means. I just love an invitation, and I don't care if it's on the road or it's here. I say I don't care. Of course, I would love it to be here, but I've spent no time looking at that, and I'm going to fight for this or that. I don't know. I don't. They're not listening to me. There's plenty of things to look at for them to make the decisions they make. I'm sure it's not easy, and wherever they ask us to play, we'll show up.
Do you feel like the offense was maybe just pressing to start the game? And you talked about the last 4 games, had to go 4-0. Do you feel like, how much do you think that prepares you guys for the playoff? Because you guys were essentially in kind of a round-robin playoff throughout the last half of the year.
Yeah, well, for anything, we're comfortable when it ain't going great. When it's tight, I think that this is a team that has poise in those moments, being battle-tested. I think there's confidence in the things that we've had to go through and overcome. Again, the teams that we're playing have the ability to punch back, so it's not like we're going against a bunch of chumps. We're going against good players, or elite coaches, and this is a team that, again, as we described them, they know how to find a way in these moments, and just keep playing, keep throwing punches back, and certainly it's prepared us. Every one of these miscues that you have to overcome, and we are able to overcome, I think it just it strengthens you. Those scars, are things that you lean on.
Brent, I remember last year after that, you told us foundationally how disappointing it was last season, and you guys were going to look at everything, and you said last week that you saw the first signs of this team being what they are last year. How satisfying is it now, looking back, to see how far this group has come?
Yeah, man, no doubt. In the locker room, we talked about that a lot. We've been talking about it, and we talked about last night. Certainly, we had, 25 seniors that we recognized, and the things that several of those guys have been through. A good part of them have been through. Yeah, you're incredibly thankful, proud. Again, you judge a tree by its fruit, and the fruit in this business is winning. The fruit at this school is, being in the conversation and having a season that's, worthy to talk about. And again, still haven't done anything, quote unquote, but we've built on a really good foundation, and all of our best days are sitting in front of us still, and still haven't played our best 4 quarters of football. And it's like, well, when that's going to happen, I don't know. I can't say. I wish I could. When we do that, and we've been really good here these last several weeks at taking care of the football, and certainly we weren't tonight, but good enough in the other areas where we were able to overcome it. But yeah, very, very proud and thankful.
Bowen's interception looked like he was really watching the quarterback's eyes, and he knew right where he was going to put it.
Yep.
And so I just want to ask you, what about Peyton Bowen makes him have such a good knowledge of where a quarterback is going to put it?
Yeah, he's got tremendous ball skills and instincts. Get just a natural feel for the game in the spots where he can come under a route or stay on top of it and go over the top. He's got a real knack instinctually for that.
As he turned in high school, he kind of was whatever you needed, he gave it to you. Is he kind of turned to that guy here in his 3rd year?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, he's playing with great confidence. He's having Coach Chavis spoke to the guys last night. I've had coaches that I want the players to hear from. There's a lot of good, strong wisdom, in our on our coaching staff, and so I'll pick a couple of coaches every week to have something to say to the guys and challenge them, but or maybe affirm the team in some kind of way. But he chose different guys, but he brought up Peyton, and brought up maybe some of the frustration of the season that he had a year ago, being banged up, and just kind of an uneven season after a pretty good start as a true freshman. And but how proud, and just what of an impact that he's had, this year. Leadership. Couldn't lead, a year ago, and as a freshman, he's always been a great, human being, but he wasn't able to lead. Man, he has been an assassin. I think he learned a lot from Billy, and he and RJ together, man, they bring out the best in each other. They've done an amazing job, with that back seven from a leadership standpoint, and but playing his best ball, since he's been here, without question.
I think Fabechi's the only offensive lineman you guys have had that's played in every game the last 2 years. What's it say about him to step in and play center today? And how's Jake doing?
Is that crazy? It's just like one more thing. I just laugh. I'm like, right on time. And yeah, man, it says everything. And of course, he won our Donkey Award along with Owen a week ago, and where he's at this year compared to where he was a year ago. Leadership, confidence, the ability to go play two positions, his durability, toughness, things he says to the team nonstop, challenging the defense, challenging the offense, the growth of all the young guys around him. Man, it's all through his spirit, through his leadership. He's been fantastic. And for him to be able to slide over there and play center, starting in fall camp, Bill started, repping him there, just in case. And then certainly Troy got hurt. You only have so much tread on the tire. So it's like, well, half the practice you play center, half the practice you play guard. You can't do that. So he spends a lot of time from a fundamental standpoint doing the things after practice, consistently. So just in case, an emergency, and certainly he did it at a high level. I don't think they had any sacks, very few tackles for loss. And again, we almost had 400 yards of offense. He's doing something. He touches the ball every snap. So you can't not touch the ball every snap and have, impact and influence on the game. So fantastic job. Really proud of him. And Jake, he had an infection, and it was really pretty scary. I don't know if it was staph or whatever, but he was in the hospital for a few days, and he's in much better now. And so we'll see where he's at here shortly.
Does the coach sleep well knowing you got a new center?
I slept amazing last night. The last month I've had this crazy piece, and I think we put the work in, and then I've got amazing, locker room. These guys are prepared, excited to compete. They deeply care, and I can say the same thing about our staff. And, you can't have success without adversity. That kind of goes without saying. But when you're prepared for that adversity, you're not surprised or overwhelmed by it. And just the toughness of this team helps me sleep well. And what they do all week helps me sleep well. And so does cherry juice. You take a couple cherry juices before you go to bed. Huh?
Tart cherry juice?
Yeah, it's a natural sleep remedy. Not that I'm looking to, but they give it to the players. I'm like, what's that for? Between kiwi and the fruit kiwi and cherry juice. So I'm all into the natural stuff. Well rested. All right, Boomer Sooner. Our meeting space. Yeah.
I appreciate you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm healthy. I'm like the model of good health.
You are. No, sir. Congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Good. I like that sweater too, right there. So go and shoot yours too, man. Good looks, everybody.
Ben, what's it?
Ben,
What did you just say about the resiliency of this offense? It seemed like nothing was going your guys' way most of the day to come up with that at the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they just stayed persistent. They never lost faith. They kept believing. And, you'll see it on there. I mean, there's a lot of times where it's like the play's there, the play's almost there, the play's almost there. And for whatever reason, there's a bunch of different reasons, whether it be a holding or a false start or a turnover or a drop ball or just things that you can't do if you really want to win and you want to sustain drives. They were just happy happening, but the guys never lost faith. They never quit believing, and ultimately found a way to win there at the end. So, incredibly proud of them.
What does that say to keep having confidence and belief in him despite some of the mistakes that he made? What does it do for a player like him in a big moment like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure whenever we sit in this team meeting that everybody in this room, in this building, has the utmost faith in John Mateer. And John has a short memory. Whenever something bad happens, he's quick to wipe it, and he'll do that over and over and over again. But he's the ultimate competitor. The play that sticks out in my head is that first interception. I mean, go look at his effort on that play. Push the dude out at the 3-yard line. What happened the next play? An interception, right? It's little things like that that just keep on giving everybody the confidence in number 10. And again, he's the ultimate competitor. He's always going to try and do everything that he can to win. So I'm just proud of him every which way.
What's your role in that, though? To keep, is John just so self-motivated, even with 3 picks, he's not sweating it? Or do you have to constantly remind him, you're the dude, you can do this?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of both to that. I mean, John is like I've said, he's such a good competitor. He's such a good teammate, and he loves football. And so when something bad happens, I mean, you can't go down the drain. You have to wipe it, and he does a good job of doing that. And I think having the tablets on the sideline and everything really help. Hey, great decision, great eyes, love everything about this. Hey, you gotta make the throw. It just comes down to that a lot more than it doesn't. But I'm always gonna try and instill confidence in him every time he runs out there, because I believe in him. Everyone on the team does, and again, he's just an incredible competitor.
How did you get Sategna
so wide open?
Okay, there you go.
How did he get so wide open? Well, I think the play before we had a big play from Jaron. Made the first guy miss and went, and then we lined up really fast. And whenever you line up really fast, there's a good chance for miscommunication from the defense. Everybody did a great job of getting lined up quick, running down the field. John, unbelievable job of seeing the field. Isaiah, great job staying up the seam, put it on him. And I just think about these kids, and I've almost been here for 1 whole year. I think I showed up on like December 2nd or 3rd, and I just think about those young men and those players who were here that are still here, and everything this last year has happened, and everything that we've gone through, and all the team building, and all the good times and the bad times. Like it's just special. I think about the kids that sit in this room, and they made a decision that they were going to be hard to kill. And those guys just keep on showing up and competing their butt off. So I'm happy for the staff that I get to work with, but most importantly, I'm just happy for these kids because they're a special bunch, and they deserve everything. And so, we got to keep on working. They know that, and I'm just proud of them.
You kept telling us that Deion just kept being consistent and staying ready. Just what did that? How big was that touchdown for him?
Oh man, it's huge, and that's a culmination of weeks of consistent practice and just getting better and keeping his head down and working. I mean, it was huge. It was so awesome to see. It was awesome to see his emotion on the sideline, how much it meant to him, how much it meant to a bunch of guys around him. It was just awesome. He ran that play exactly how we coached it, and I loved watching the transition from the practice field go to the game field. Him and the O-lineman and Jaron Canick's block on that play was so huge, and everything about it was awesome. So I'm really happy for Deion in that moment, man.
Ben, you don't have a lot of things going in the first half, and you just can't. I just imagine you have to keep going, don't you? I mean, talk about your mindset going into the second half when you came back from the first half and you probably didn't get what you wanted in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep going. I mean, there ain't no other choice, And the encouraging thing was you watch the film and everything we wanted was there. I mean, everything we wanted. And so it was really easy to go in there to those kids and say, hey, keep pushing, keep going, keep believing, focus on your job, focus on the detail of it, and we're going to get what we want in the end. And those kids did that. And so, but yeah, whenever things don't go your way or bad things happen, you can't stop. You got to keep going. So, and that's for me, that's for every player, every coach, you have to. So.
Green to Burks where he scored. Was that a LSU look you were waiting on to
Well-
call that play, or why was it so wide open?
Yeah, well, how the game had been going, they had gotten to where they were playing some man coverage and bringing pressures with it. On that exact play, they brought cover zero. So cover zero, they're bringing humans. There's nobody else. If you get through the front line of it, there's literally nobody. And so it was awesome job by John getting the ball out. Great job by Deion making the play. Huge block by Jaron. And, it's really cool whenever the O-linemen get to run out there and there's nobody to block. So that's cool.
What does it say about Fabechi that he was ready to essentially be your emergency center and do that at a high level?
It's who he's been this entire time. Just always ready whenever he needs to step up, ready for his moment. He is a true leader on this offense, and he was so awesome all week. Whenever we told him on really Sunday, hey, you're probably going to have to play center this week, he showed up on Monday ready to roll. I think he had one errant snap all week, so I had a lot of confidence in him going out there. Unbelievable job communicating, unbelievable job leading, played his butt off. I couldn't be more proud of Fabechi.
Did he consider going to the bullpen with the tough night that John was having? You just said that nobody lost belief in him. Can you kind of describe what goes into that process and how you play that out during a game when the guy is struggling like he was to move the football, and why you stuck with him?
Yeah, it's just a culmination of everything that he has done in the year that he's been here, from the work that he's put in, the relationships that he's built, the consistency that he has built. He's an unbelievable competitor, and he wants to go win the ball game. And so I'm proud of John. I'm proud of how he shows up every day, and even whenever there's bad, he always finds a way to respond. And so I'm proud of that.
I guess redeeming at the end or fulfilling at the end kind of made you look really smart by not pulling with the 2 touchdown passes.
I wouldn't give me any credit on looking smart right there. Kids played hard and they executed and found a way to get the ball in the end zone.
And, it's not only that you had to move Fabechi to center, you had to put Foje, who started at tackle, to guard. So how did the makeshift offensive line, in your opinion, work throughout the game?
I thought they did a really good job. I thought there were some unbelievable times in the run game where we broke out into the open. They did a really good job of pushing the pile in a lot of moments. And so at the end of the day, especially this late in the season, a lot of people are banged up. You have to figure out a way. You have to find a way, and our kids put their head down. They worked, and they figured out a way. So I'm really proud of that group, just the work that went into this week and the game they played today.
Ben, this is the team that's, when you got here in December, where you envisioned you'd be right now?
Yeah, I didn't come to Oklahoma not to be in these moments and in these situations, and with a leader like BV and a defensive staff and defensive mind like BV and the players that we have in this building, and then the coaches that we have on offense and the kids and the belief and buy-in that I've seen from them the entirety that I've been here. Yeah, to be in a position to have this opportunity, present itself, I think is incredible. And it's why you come to Oklahoma.
Ben, we heard all the way back in fall camp that Isaiah was super reliable. To see him sustain that throughout the course of the season on top of it, just what does that say about him and what does that mean?
Yeah. Do you think we were lying to you? No? Okay. No, everything y'all see on Saturday is who he is all the time. To his process, how he takes care of his body, to how he is, film study. And, he is a really good football player, and he's a really good human, and he's a really consistent person. And so that's what you see on Saturdays. Appreciate y'all. Boomer.
Thank you.
Sategna in the back.
Georgie and I are going to do Arbuckle. He was really good on that.
John, talk about, keeping the perseverance. You're not, things aren't quite going well for you, but you kept your head about you and you came through when you needed to in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it obviously didn't go very well at first. We knew what was on the line, and we had a lot of fight and belief that we could do it. So, we came together when we needed it.
John, Brent said he didn't even think about pulling you or anything like that, and then Ben just talked about how much he believes in you. In that moment when you're struggling on the sidelines, what does that belief from those two mean to you when you have to go back out there?
Yeah, knowing they have my back is huge. I mean, obviously it was a tough time, tough couple series, but I knew we'd have a chance, and there'd be a moment to go win this game, and that happened. I mean, as a quarterback, I mean, that's one of the hardest parts. Like, it's not going well, and it's all on my shoulders, but in the end, I mean, it worked, obviously, and that's all anybody cares about now.
So if they're going into the fourth quarter, you guys still had a chance to obviously come back with the game.
Yeah, just that everything that I worked for from January and my whole life is these 15 minutes right here. And, I mean, everything I want's in front of me. And it hasn't been good, but, I mean, we're still here. We're still fighting. And thanks to this defense, we're still alive. So I was very grateful for the grace that our defense gives me and this offense. And so I just knew I had to keep fighting.
How shocking is Sategna so wide open?
Yeah, that one was – I appreciated that one. We called a tempo, and he just gave me which means he's wide open. So, I mean, that was a good one. Sooner Magic.
Throw to Nathan, we know.
Because I didn't take a second pause, no. But if I was sitting there like, oh my gosh, he's wide open, wind in my face, yeah.
Wind more difficult than any point this season today?
I mean, it was definitely blowing more than any point, and it was straight quarter by quarter. I mean, you're with it and then against it and with it, and it's swirling a little bit. I was a little conscious of it, but I don't think it had a huge impact. I think he did great. I mean, he stepped up, and I mean, he knew the protections just like a center would playing guard, and it wasn't that hard for him to do it. But I mean, the skill of snapping and blocking it's not easy for everybody. He stepped in. I'm really proud of him. I appreciate him a lot.
John, how big was your tackle there in the first quarter? You saved a touchdown, and then Peyton Bowen gets picked on its play.
Yeah, I know that, bad stuff happens, but the defense has our back, and they tell me that all the time. I knew as long as he didn't get in the end zone, we were going to have a shot. And I was sprinting. I don't know if I look fast or not, but just fast enough.
John, you and this team offensively have had your struggles. This is a team that's very likely going to the college football playoff. You've got here earlier this year before the season started. Is this right here now where you envisioned it would be?
Yeah. And, I mean, it wasn't easy. None of it was easy, and I think that's why I'm so appreciative of it. And nobody thought we were going to win 7 games, and here we are. We just won 10. And did a lot of things not a lot of teams have ever done, and it was a lot of fun, and I appreciate all these guys. But this is what I came here for.
John, Brent was talking about after the Ole Miss game, the ESPN playoff simulator to show you guys what a 4-0 November. Just what do you recall from that team meeting and how it kind of re-energized you guys after that Ole Miss loss?
Yeah, I remember seeing that percentage and just appreciating the opportunity because, I mean, the old college football playoff, we're done. And they make it more exciting, making it 12 teams, and we still have a shot. And so I think that gave everybody faith and belief that it's still possible. We just had to make the decision, which we did, and here we are.
John, you mentioned Sooner Magic a couple of questions ago, talking about Sategna's touchdown and being wide open. Do you feel like you've kind of learned what that is, what that means this last month?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's awesome, and you can't explain it, but it just happens. And I appreciate you, Sooner Magic, so.
Winning these games the way that you guys have. I know the offense hasn't been perfect, but
I'd say just the type of men that we are. We believe in it's not easy. None of it's been easy going on the road, coming back. A bunch of top defenses and this and that, but we keep fighting. And we go out of practice every day and we fight. We're competitive and we love each other. And not a whole lot of people have that on a team, and we do. And I'm just glad we can keep fighting.
How difficult is it to stay level-headed and get down on yourself after those interceptions?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy, and that's what I struggled with all my childhood. Like, you ask any of my Little League coaches, if I do one bad thing, it's over. It's just done. So I'm obviously better now, but I'm not perfect, and I just know that this team it moves how I move, so I got to step up and make a play, and Kip called me out. In the start of the fourth quarter, he called me out. I was like, all right, I don't got a choice. I do it for all these guys, and I'm glad he did. Yeah, I mean, he just said, you got to will us to this victory. Like, he hit me in the chest a couple times. We were all right there about to listen to many men, and, he hit me in the chest, said, you got to do it. And, thank you, Kip. When Kip says something, you listen. So.
Did you get asked about that yet? When you said you were either going to hate yourself or become a man? Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, It's a bad thing that my mood is affected by how football is played. You know, it's how I've always been. Football is everything I put my time into, and so I wouldn't, hate myself or, rooted in God, which is good. But I mean, I think I showed a good deal of discipline and perseverance here, and I think I'm proud of myself for that. It's not easy to do, and I wouldn't have done it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and we got it done today.
You were taking it at the end of the game. You guys were running it out. You kind of took a knee and it looked like you were thinking about some things that worked.
Yeah, I stayed on a knee, and I just thank God for the opportunity and the strength and the courage to get it done. To be able to fight through all that, not do well, and have the grace to still get it done is something I really appreciate, and the opportunity and these guys and how fun it is to win, even though I wasn't perfect.
John, after the game, you had a long talk with Coach Arbuckle. It looked like he was telling you something in your ear. What was he saying to you? What was his message?
He's just saying that he believed in me, and that he had my back through it all, and he never had a doubt, which I was like, are you sure? But no, I'm just kidding. But I love that man and what he's done for me, and sharing this moment with him and Coach Kuz means the world to me, and they've done everything for me, and it was a good moment.
You're the quarterback, the starting quarterback, and you're struggling, throwing those picks or whatever. Do you ever look over your shoulder? This could be my last pass tonight. I'm going to be replaced. I got this.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you get caught in that, it's only negative, and I think you got to have a little more mental strength to not do it. If I got caught in that, then if it's like, if I don't play well, then this is going to happen, and it's just fear, and you can't play with fear. And so I knew if I had another opportunity, I would do my best to get it done.
Last question. Get Deion in the end zone, get him moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a great player. It hasn't gone exactly how he'd want and how I want for him. And last week we missed on a couple, but I mean, we had the perfect call, and he pierced it the right way. So I'm proud of him, and that's detail. And he's always ready to go, and I'm really proud of him. Yeah, thanks.